As a professional musician in our times, you have a lot of things to juggle. You usually teach, then you play as a sideman in other people's bands. You might have your own band, you compose for that band, you have to do booking, then you have your social media accounts to manage, you might even have a YouTube account, and so on and so on. It can really get hard to find any time to practice your instrument. For me, I certainly struggled to find a lot of time to practice. This was completely different when I was studying music. I had every day 4 to 6 hours at least to practice, but by now this looks completely different. And even if you are not a professional musician, you might just be in a very similar situation with having a full-time job, a family, children to take care of, and so on. The strategy that I found works best for me is to say I practice 365 hours a year, which means, of course, 1 hour every day. And what I found to my astonishment is that even though I don't put 4 to 6 hours into practicing every day anymore, I still make quite a bit of progress. So I thought I should do a video about this and should explain why this practicing strategy works so well for you and why it also could be a really big game changer for your musical development. But of course, I'm not going to leave it by that. I will also show you what you can practice during these 365 hours a year and how you can come up with your own professional practice plan. So why practicing 1 hour a day works so well? The first thing is consistency. To develop any skill, if music or sports or something else, you have to practice it on a regular, usually daily basis. So for example, let's say you practice 20 minutes each day for 1 week, you will get more out of this than practicing just on Monday and Friday for each 2 to 3 hours. And the reason for that is that every day you build on the progress that you made the day before. And if you only practice on Monday and then the next time on Friday, even though you might put a lot of hours into practicing, you will just forget already what you achieved the last time you practiced. The next reason why 1 hour a day is a magical number for your practicing is focus. First of all, you have to give yourself a little bit of time to forget about all the other things that keep your mind busy. And then after 1 hour, you will usually find that you need a break because you cannot concentrate as well anymore. Another reason for practicing every day 1 hour is that you want to build a habit of practicing. It's pretty much like any other routine you do, like brushing your teeth, for example. You don't have to think about it after a while anymore. It just becomes a habit to pick up your saxophone and start practicing. And what I would recommend to you is that you find always the same spot for your practicing every day. So, for example, it could be 1 hour before dinner. So, for those reasons, practicing 365 hours a year or 1 hour a day is a really good goal for you. But of course, as important as it is that you just practice every day, it's also very important what you practice exactly. And usually it's best to focus on 4 big areas. The first is sound, the next technique, then comes the main subject, which might be repertoire or, for example, practicing improvisation. And the last one is just playing for fun. If you're looking for exercises to improve your sound, you can just check out my channel. There are a lot of videos on that. And I also recently uploaded a video on practicing your scales, so this could be the foundation for your technique practice. As I said already, then you have the main subject that you want to spend most of your time on, and this might be, for example, practicing a new song or learning a new jazz standard, maybe practicing a certain chord or chord progression, and so on. And it's really important that you finish each practice session with something you just enjoy. For example, you play some tunes that you know really well, or you improvise over a certain standard that you really like to play over. And if we say that we have 1 hour to practice, I would give the sound exercises 5 minutes of your practice time, the technique exercises 15 minutes, then the main part 30 minutes, and another 10 minutes for just playing and having fun. For some people, it might be unrealistic still to practice 1 hour every day. If that is true for you, don't worry, you can still make a lot of progress. One way to solve this is to only spend part of your practicing time at your instrument. For example, let's say you can manage 30 minutes a day, and then for another 30 minutes, for example, when you commute to work, you take a shower and so on, you can mentally practice. And there are by now quite a few scientific studies that show that mental practice is nearly or as efficient as real practice. For example, what can be practiced mentally very well is scale exercises. You could try to practice in your head the scale that you're currently practicing on your instrument. Another great thing to practice is chords. So you could ask yourself, what are the four notes of C major 7 or E flat major 7 or D flat major 7? And you can even practice things like sound. You can try to imagine what the perfect sound would be for you. Would it be a warm sound, a full sound? Would it be a big sound that fills the whole room? And so on. And what you can also do to compensate for missing practice time is actively listening to music. For example, you can listen to your favorite saxophone player and pay close attention to his sound, his timing, the phrases he plays, how he interacts with the rhythm section, and so on. And sometimes practicing mentally or actively listening to music can be even more efficient than really sitting down and practicing with the instrument. So that's my suggestion, what you should practice for these 365 hours a year. If you want, you can find on my website sheets to download with practice plans for 1 hour, 30 minutes and 20 minutes a day. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful and I wish you Merry Christmas.